Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am the Peacefire Witch, and on this channel we review tarot cards, oracle decks, and other witchy things. So thank you for joining me for another episode. And in this episode I'm going to be reviewing the Pride Tarot. It is a collaborative deck. If you remember, one of the first videos I posted was the 9 of Earth. I said it right. The 9 of Earth LGBTQ Pride box unboxing, and this was inside of it. So again, I know I said I will not be purchasing mass market decks. However, I made an exception for this one because I was actually very excited to see this one and to be able to do a review for you. So I made the exception. I bought the box. It came with a bunch of other cool things. You can hop back on my channel and watch the unboxing of that to see it. But today I, mentioned it several weeks ago now that I wanted to do the review on this after I got more familiar with it. And honestly, I've just been very, very, very busy, and I'm a bit of a creature of habit. So I don't tend to reach for new decks until I have time to super dig into them and get very familiar with them. I even have workbooks and things like that I do to learn decks. So it's hard for me to sit down and really get familiar with a new deck. I've been working primarily with the Muse Tarot, and I just started on the Light Seers Tarot. So this is going to be another unseen walkthrough. I have not really looked at these cards past what I looked at in the initial unboxing. So you get to experience the deck with me for the first time. This is the very first collaborative deck I've ever owned. I don't know how I feel about collaborative decks yet, but we're going to just take a look and see what we see. So the first thing we're going to look at is the box. It is a tuck box, which is generally a disappointment. Tuck boxes. What I usually do when decks come in a tuck box like that is I get rid of the tuck box, and I end up storing my cards. Hold on, I got an example right here. In a sack of some sort. So this is my Moonology deck. So that also came in a tuck box, and I decided to store it inside this little bag there. So I will probably do the same for that one. I'll buy or otherwise obtain a very cool rainbow bag or something that I can store that deck in. I like to, that Moonology one wasn't very well coordinated, but I like to coordinate the ones that come in a tuck box with a cool bag that kind of reflects the deck. So there is a tuck box. It has some things. It is a US games system. That means it is mass marketed. And that's the side. This kind of tells you a bit about the deck and how it was a collaboration of multiple artists. All right, so on the back, back shows you a couple of the cards. There are a couple other things about this deck that I don't like, but I'll discuss that later. This has a pretty decent sized guidebook. So it starts with the major arcana. Each card gets, looks like a page, 2 pages technically, because you have the card over here, the signature of the artist, the name of the card of the artist who drew it, and then the description of the card itself. Guidebook. The back is, I have not really opened this except during the preview of the deck in the unboxing. So it's not the best guidebook either. But again, it's very helpful if you need to use the guidebook. It has a pretty nice layout. I do like that it shows the pictures. That is something I like in a guidebook. And then it gives you a bio, it looks like, on each of the artists that contributed to this deck. And the rainbow spread. So we mentioned that too. And that will come up on one of the cards we look at. And that's it. That's the guidebook. So not bad. It's a pretty decent guidebook. I think I may have gotten a wonky version of it. Okay, so the first thing, I'm going to look from the back of the deck where it tells you a bit more about, actually it talks about the Gilbert Baker, who created the iconic rainbow flag and other things. So this deck was, it looks like, created in memory of him in a way. So Yeah, pretty cool about that. And Gilbert is proudly used throughout Pride Tarot. I do love that. The things I don't like about this deck are kind of just stylistic and petty, and I don't think I'm going to let that interfere with me using the deck. So one of the things I generally prefer borderless decks, and this one, as you can see, has a border on every card. I also prefer matte decks. They don't slide around as much, and this is a glossy deck, and as you can see, it's a slidey deck. So, just again, they're little petty things that stylistically, put that there so that you can keep referencing what I'm doing. Stylistically, I can get past, but it's just, one of those things. Or if you're designing a deck, I find that most tarot readers also have a preference for the more matte finish because of that element of it. And some do like the border, I've found, but I'm just not a fan of the border. Doesn't mean I don't like the deck. In fact, like I said before, I love this Fool. I am a big fan of the Fool. It is my favorite card in the entire tarot deck. Between that and Strength, and the Two of Cups is another favorite. There's a few that you'll notice I mention them when I get to them. But this is a beautiful, beautiful Fool card. So I'm just going to flip through and just kind of casually give some observations about the card. It does seem to follow, again, the traditional RWS system with the names. It gives the name of the card, the number, where it falls in the major or minor arcana, and then the illustrated by, so the Emperor. Considering the theme of this deck, I do expect to see a wide variety of ethnicities and body types and even styles. As you can see, like even going back a little bit, we went from one style to another very quickly right here. And then this card especially sticks out to me as being a completely different style from all the rest of them. Having not had a chance to really do any readings with this, I don't know how much that is going to affect how I feel about the deck. I don't know. We'll find out. So here is Strength. Again, I like a Strength card that shows the lion and the person separate. It has all the elements, the key symbols and things. And this is cool because they're underwater, and I've never seen an underwater Strength card before. So that is a very interesting and unique twist on it. And then again, switching up styles completely, like it very abruptly changes. And this is a very abstract card for the Hermit. And a big change again, we have black and white, the Wheel of Fortune. Justice. The Hanged Man. Death. Death is holding the pride flag. We are seeing obviously variety of ethnicities, different body types, some different themes that are being used. Most of them are continuing with very traditional Rider-Waite-Smith symbolism, but some stray. So this is the Star. He's underwater again. I know it's a lot of underwater ones. And let's see, the Moon. Of course, the Sun. You probably recognize that one because it is on the box. So this is the one most people see. I love that he's just spewing out a wave of rainbow. Judgment. Oh, I also didn't show you the back. So that's the back. Cardstock wise too, it's pretty thin. It's traditional. I would say this is tarot card sized, but the cardstock is pretty traditional playing card stock. And again, I get the feel because it also has that glossy feeling to it. So now we're on to the swords. And it is interesting because some of them, this is not a pip deck. Every single, at least I haven't come across any yet that are pip deck-ish. They're all illustrated. So it gives you a bit more of a feel. You don't have to intuitively know. It's very illustrated, which is something else I generally enjoy. I prefer illustrated decks over intuitive decks. Just a personal preference. And I did order recently a couple of decks that are more of a pip deck just to kind of play around with and see how I feel about them. But so far, I definitely noticed that I am more drawn to illustrated cards versus pip decks. So now we are in the Wands. This is a card I tend to see advertised a lot with this deck. So this one also feels really familiar to me. It's very cartoonish. So like they could almost be out of, I'm not going to say like The Simpsons, but maybe something that's a little more realistic. And then you switch up to a Frida card. I did not know there was a Frida card. That's pretty cool. I actually am backing on Kickstarter a Frida deck right now. So, you know, I don't know how often. I'm not going to commit to posting videos at a certain duration. You know, so I might do 2 a week, or I might do, 3 a week. I do tend to record these in advance. In fact, the first 3 videos were recorded a day apart, and then now this one is actually being recorded. I can give you the date. In fact, it is the 18th of January. So I do record these far in advance before I post them. So I might just end up posting more often just so I can kind of squeeze these in when I need to. Ace of Cups, again, a very different style than, the cards before or after it. 2 of Cups. Oh, 3 of Cups. I love this card. Look at her. She's so happy. What a great card. The 2 of Cups is another card I tend to really enjoy. I don't know if I really like this one so much. It kind of makes me think of a video game, which isn't my style. So not my favorite card. I'm going to go with the 3 of Cups being my favorite. Probably I haven't gotten very far in the cup cards. Maybe I'm going to end up liking more. But this one is another favorite card in this deck. The 4 of Cups. 5 of Cups. Oh, he's so sad. This is a very sad card, but it's such a beautiful card. It's starting to lose the cards here. They are very slippery. The 6 of Cups. Yeah, very beautiful deck. I don't honestly know how often I will reach for it. I don't know how well I'm going to connect to kind of the collaborative style of it. I do enjoy it. Again, this one is a beautiful, beautiful card. The 10 of Cups. I love the 10 of Cups, and that's generally another beautiful one. Then we have, then we'll throw in an animal card, because why not? The other thing is I'm not a big fan of animal decks. I will eat my words on that with 1, possibly 2 decks that I'll be bringing you in the future. I do have 1 animal deck that I enjoy, and 1 that I just backed on Kickstarter that I should have in June, I think is the timeline. So it'll be a while, but I'm very excited to get it and to share it with you. But in general, I don't like animal decks. Okay, so this is a little more of a pip deck feel. It doesn't have a whole, well, the Ace of Pentacles usually doesn't. None of the aces usually have a ton of illustration, and they can get by with those. Oh, I love this one. The Free Grandma Hugs. I love these. Okay, 3 of Pentacles. Apparently I'm liking the 3s a lot in this one. And I don't know, I'm enjoying these decks. I like people in my decks. I feel like I can relate to them a little bit better. I like this one a lot too. Again, it looks very cartoony, which isn't really my style, but I can relate to this one. She is working her butt off, and she is just, you can tell, full of that, enthusiasm and the inspiration, and she's just going for it. 9 of Pentacles. What's interesting about this one is if it didn't tell me it was the 9 of Pentacles, I don't think just by looking at it I could figure out that it was the 9 of Pentacles. So, again, another card I'm not a huge fan of, but again, there's a few cards here and there I don't know if I'll be able to connect with very well, but overall, I do like the deck. And I know some people really love collaborative decks, so if you're one of them, beautiful queen, yeah, you might really, really like this one. We're going to end it off with the King of Pentacles. So again, we are looking today at the Pride Tarot. It is a mass market deck from US Games, so it's not going to be expensive. I believe it might even be, I want to say right now it's probably $16 or $17. Again, I'll put that in the show notes down there below. I always want to call them show notes. I think YouTube calls it something else. I'm so used to podcasting. But I will put it in the notes where you can get this deck and the price at the time that I post this. But I do know this is not an expensive deck. So if you are looking for a collaborative deck and you're looking for an entry-level deck, one that's not going to break the bank, that you can connect with, maybe you are a member of the LGBTQ plus community, this is definitely a great deck to get started on. And again, it's very affordable. I'm going to be doing a review next of another deck that is more aimed towards the community. In fact, I'll tease it right now. The Fifth Spirit Tarot. So my next tarot card review is going to be the Fifth Spirit Tarot. As you can see from me just holding these two side by side, the Pride Tarot deck is a little bit smaller. The cards are a bit smaller than traditional tarot size. The Fifth Spirit Tarot is very, very standard tarot sized. So, you know, this guy is a little bit on the smaller side, both height and width. But it's very affordable. It's a great option if this is what you think you will like. I recommend it. Check it out. All right, so this has been another episode of the Peace Fire Witch YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. I will be back again very soon with another video. And if you want to connect with me between videos, you can look me up on Instagram at thepeacefire_witch and chat with me there. Thank you. I'll see you again soon. Bye, friends.